Caitlin Clark is a true basketball trailblazer. As Caitlin Clark's rookie season in the WNBA ticked down to its final seconds in the first round of the playoffs, Clark remained inscrutable, her arms around her teammates in the huddle as the cheering crowd. They're both to support her and root against her in Connecticut's Mohegan Sun Arena, home of the Connecticut Sun, recognized the moment. It was a chance for the home team to advance, but it was also the end of the beginning. What Clark's rookie year truly signified, we will only come to fully understand in the years ahead. What we do know is that her rookie season was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Fittingly, even in defeat, Clark set another record, adding to the endless catalog of them that peppered her first pro campaign, the never-befores and first toes, blending together into a tapestry so thick it would be impossible to list them all. A final game stat line of 25 rebounds, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds provided a perfect display of the varied strengths of Clark's game. No other rookie had ever gone 25 to 5 before in a playoff game. Clark didn't come out of the game for a single second. "There's a lot for us to hold our heads high about," Clark said, with head coach Christy Sides and Aaliyah Boston, the signature big who paired so well with her, sitting next to her as she reflected in the back corridors of the arena after the game. "This is a team that won 5 games 2 years ago. We're a young group, an inexperienced group, but we came together and had a lot of fun playing with one another. That's sometimes the worst part of it. You feel like you're playing your best basketball and it had to end." Clark was clearly exhausted. She'd carried the expectations of an entire league, not to mention attracting the curious new eyes of countless people discovering women's basketball for the first time, on her shoulders, and at the same time, she had to learn to serve as the primary playmaker and scorer for a young team with playoff aspirations. Before she'd even been selected officially by the Indiana Fever, though no one doubted she'd be the top overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, she'd already begun to impact the league's financial trajectory, something her head coach at Iowa, Lisa Bluder, pointed out. "I think that Caitlin is going to continue to have this kind of impact in the WNBA," Bluder told the assembled scribes at her post-game press conference after Clark's final college game, a national final loss to South Carolina. "Indiana is doing well with their ticket sales. I know Las Vegas had to move to a different, bigger arena when Indiana comes to town. So those are all really good signs that women's basketball is in a good spot." It was just the beginning. The size of the popularity wave amazed even Bluder when we spoke about it late in the summer. Clark spent the entire year in the WNBA experiencing precisely what she'd brought to the college game, leveling up without any signs that she would struggle with the new set of assignments, even after a rocky start attributable as much to the schedule as to her own limitations. And the world noticed. For nearly 3 decades, the oldest women's pro league in America had wondered what it would take to convert the fans of the NCAA tournament madness into a reliable, durable audience for the WNBA season that immediately followed. Turns out, Clark was the overarching answer to that question. Of course, there are other factors, from the NCAA eliminating the self-defeating rule, allowing only the men to use March Madness branding, to ESPN finally, belatedly televising the entirety of the women's tournament, a benefit that fans of the men's game took as a birthright. A strong, growing league had been seeing rising television audiences in the years leading up to Clark's arrival in the WNBA. But Clark's presence meant eyeballs at a level the league hadn't experienced before, not even in the heady first few years after its founding in 1997, and certainly not in the decades that followed. An average of 1.19 million people watched each WNBA game on ESPN in 2024, a 170% increase over 2023, and total viewership numbers in 2023 were up 22% over 2022. A growing league welcomed its signature star, and Clark provided rocket fuel for the entire enterprise. Viewership joined massive expansion in merchandise sales and coverage in media corners where the WNBA typically never registered, all symptoms of Caitlin fever.